Hello, sojourners, soul travelers, and all my YouTube friends, Facebook friends, and whoever you are passing by, stopping in. Thank you. This is my second video on how I dealt with my son's death and his suicide. And the first video that I made, it cut off, and this phone can only go so many minutes long, so that's why. But anyhow, I wanted to pick up where I left off, and my son had this, almost like he had a premonition about his death, because he spoke of it years before it occurred, and he would always tell me that he knew that he was going to die in his mid-20s, and I would just say, Bryan, don't say anything like that, but it's like he knew. Plus he drew drawings that he gave to friends that I never saw until after he passed, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this one on here, but I'll try to show it to you. This is a picture. It's got him in the middle of, you got Jesus on one side and the devil on the other, and him sitting in the middle, and he's going through like a spiritual warfare between good versus evil. In the front, he's got, I think, bottles, cigarettes, or whatever he was struggling with in that time. He was raised a Christian, so his mind was going through some psychological warfares, because I used to be a Christian, and I know how that goes, and some of you may know what I'm talking about, but that's for another video. And then he drew this picture, which really shows, this one was done in 2004, and you have a Grim Reaper up at the top, and you've got a lion representing the Lion of the tribe of Judah in the Bible, and then you've got a tombstone with his name on it, and he's pointing to it with a sword, the two-edged sword that it talks about in the Bible, going through it, crushing death. Oh, victory, where is your, or death, where's your victory? And wait, grave, where's your victory? Death, where's your sting? And he's pointing at it, and then it's showing him coming up out of the ground, and he's got a mic up to his mouth, and he's singing a new song, playing the guitar. He loved to play guitar. He was a great musician, a wonderful artist. And sorry about this thing's heavy. Gotta figure out a new way. But he drew pictures and wrote and talked about his death, and he knew that it was coming, and it was like as if he was okay with it. And when I found his letter, I knew that that's what he wanted. And on my first video, you can find his letter written out in the description box below that video if you want to go check it out. I didn't want to read it, it would take too long. And this is the picture, one of his last pictures before he passed away. I think he took a trip to the Bahamas and had a little monkey on him. He was 27 years old. He died July 20th, 2011. But I had the opportunity at the funeral to walk around and talk to everybody there and thank them for coming, and thank them for their part in Bryan's life and his journey. And everyone that I talked to had nothing but good things to say about him. It told me things about him that I never knew, how big his heart was, and his smile, would light up a room. And he did so many humane things for people. He helped people that were down on their luck. People that didn't have any food, he bought groceries for them. He'd give them the shirt off his back, or give him his last dollar, and just do all kinds of awesome things. And when I went to the funeral house, I didn't expect really a whole lot of people to show up. I didn't have any idea. And there was almost 400 people that showed up, and it was just awesome. Just listening to the testimonies just lifted my spirits and gave me strength and hope. And when I got up to give the speech about my son's passing and his life and everything, it went very well. I was strong. I didn't cry or break down. and let everybody know that Bryan was there with us in spirit, that he wasn't his body, you know, that he was in another dimension and he was there, and it turned out to be a beautiful thing. And I miss my son a lot at times, and I still go listen. He sang songs, and I still go listen to a song that he wrote while he was over in Iraq, out of one of the tanks that he was in. And I talk to him all the time. And you know, when I used to be a Christian, I was taught that anybody that takes their life will go to hell. And you know, I don't believe that anymore, because after my son died, that opened my eyes, and I told myself, if there's a God and his love's great, you know, how can love send anybody to hell, especially if his life was a hell to him here in certain parts, especially being involved in Iraq, the military and all that, which you can read the letter and see where he was there. But I don't believe in hell anymore. I don't believe in the Christian faith that I was brought up in and raised to believe in. You know, I believe in love. I believe that we're all one. I believe in universal love. And I believe that we need to love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves first, it's almost impossible to love anybody else. And dealing with death is never an easy thing, but